vastly experienced Rachel Mitchinson in charge of this one. Delphina Shakespeare and Avril Beecham, the assistants, Rebecca Ducot, the fourth official. And Jageranek is happy with what his team is producing each week statistically, but he wants them to deliver more goals. They've converted just 3 of their chances from the opening 3 matches of season 18 of the Ninja A-League. So just about ready to go in the capital. Perth Glory to kick us off at a venue where they've won just once across 15 matches against Canberra United in Canberra. So it's Canberra hunting that first win of the season. Perth Glory looking to end somewhat of a capital curse. Just 1 win in Canberra from 15 matches. And we have former Matilda and former Canberra United player Grace Gill alongside Grace. This is an intriguing one because Canberra made the finals last year. They've started slowly. In Perth, they're staring down the barrel of 3 straight defeats after that bright start.
Afternoon, Ben. Great to see you, and really looking forward to this fixture. Canberra, just one of 2 teams who haven't won a game this season yet. And now back at McKellar Park in front of their home fans, their vocal home crowd. A full 3 points for Anthony Jageranik's side seems all the more crucial.
Yeah, the big question is why the slow start? Because you think about it, round 1 against the Jets on another day, that probably ends in a draw. The Jets scoring that late goal. Ant Jageranek happy with the point against Wellington, a tough road trip, but then last week against Adelaide, that early goal, and then they were just overrun by a Red side who really found their verve in that one in the city of Churches. Sardo looking to find Wainwright, who's dispossessed. This is a good start here for Canberra United, and the ball attempted to be fed through by Sienna Dale towards Michelle Heyman. Just didn't quite meet its mark.
Bright start and good strength shown in the midfield by Bethany Gordon, who was out of the squad last week for Canberra. I think they missed her combative nature in the middle of the park, but we had a little glimpse at just how good a ball winner she is.
And that's going to be the challenge, isn't it, for the likes of this Perth Glory midfield, especially Wainwright, who comes in, less experienced player. But she did get lots of opportunity last year. Played 18 times for Stephen Peters in midfield, but Gordon is such a strong, tenacious midfielder up against Wainwright, who's more of a slight body. So this is going to be a real test for her.
A real battle in that midfield. And as well, with Perth missing Izzy Dalton today, the leader, the captain of the side, unavailable with a little knee injury.
Now turned over. Oh, Badaway just slipped at the critical moment there, because it was a little poor moment there from Canberra. Just affording that opportunity. Here is Gordon.
Turn and go. Get out of there. Excellent.
Now, Policino, early delivery. Heyman, well, what a start that is for Canberra. And it's the speed that does the damage. Policino down the left. Heyman finishes for the 121st time in the Ninja A-League, and it's 1-0.
Well, Canberra not minding an early goal this season whatsoever. Josie Olasino, that's a delightful ball across Perth Glory's defence. So tough to get a touch there. And Michelle Heyman, instinctive. It's a capital connection growing between Michelle Heyman and Josie Olasino. And that is a dream start for Canberra United. Really strong, really positive signs.
And it was always going to be the question mark coming in here. The lack of speed at the back for Perth Glory, and we know how much Canberra United have in that department. The likes of Taylor Young, Olasino, Heyman as well. And they have exploited them inside the opening 5 minutes. So big warning signs here for Perth Glory. How do they contain the speed that Canberra has? And, well, this is going to be a free kick, and it was very physical and robust, as you would expect from Bertolicio on Bronte True. Well, that's the way Canberra are going to try and deal with the Perth outlet in terms of the speed variety.
Well, it's a chance for Perth to respond, and quickly. Just the shove coming through the chest of Bronte True, and that's a sore one, just the neck whipping back. But Susan Ponsongkham has a really good delivery on a free kick. Good chance for Perth.
We can see the arms raised. That is Oni Zog bouncing up and down on the spot, right on the far edge of the 18-yard box. But this is a little more shallow, and the header, well, it was very, very close from Gabby Holler. So early chance flowing at both ends. This is McKenna. Just a little too eager on that occasion.
Good delivery into a dangerous area, and that's a solid header coming through as well. Perth Glory first to it for Canberra. Their first 3 games finding the back of the net in the first half, is exactly as they've done so here today. But really, the test now comes for them. Well, how do they hold that out? How do they expand on that? There's no doubt in their mind they can score and score early. They've done that on multiple occasions now.
So you're looking here, Grace, at a Canberra side that is playing with this back 3. Anton, Bertolicio and Robers over on that far side.
Yeah, and unsurprised to see that as well. Anton coming back into the team was always going to hold down the centre of the defence. You've got the speed of Tegan Bertolicio exploiting that left-hand side. Robers, who a versatile player, can play in the midfield, can play at the back, and then sending forward the likes of a Hayley Taylor-Young, a Sasha Grove, good engines, players that can push numbers forward.
Lots of home support as well here at McKellar Park. Baying for that free kick, they got it. And now they can go to work here because they have got some great targets. Heyman, Anton coming forward. Bethany Gordon has Olasino down the left here, just off screen to the left. There is no Perth Glory player there, and we know of her speed, so we'll see whether Gordon is going to go long here. The header is a good one, and it's over the line, and Canberra have a 2-0 lead. Emma Robers is absolutely loving it. A goal scorer last season. In her first year with Canberra, she's got another one this year, and it is a dream start in the capital.
It's quality on the delivery from Bethany Gordon, puts the ball into a really dangerous area, and then it just comes down to pure grit and determination. Watch the body of Emma Robers grappling to get first contact, first position. And Alyssa Dallastay should not be beaten from that kind of distance. It's a looping ball up and over, and Emma Robers doubles the lead for Canberra.
Well, it's funny, Grace, because coming in here today, if you were going to write where are the concerns for Perth Glory, lack of speed at the back, lack of height at the back, and both the goals from Canberra have come via those avenues.
And the shape of the delivery, both on the ball from Bethany Gordon and the one for Michelle Heyman too of Josie Olasino. Really good quality rather on those deliveries.
So what's the answer for Perth Glory? At a graveyard for them, let's be honest. They've won 1 here in 18 seasons in the Ninja A-League, once in Canberra in 15 previous matches here. We know it's been a graveyard for a lot of sides going to the nation's capital, but especially for Perth.
Well, McKellar's a tough place to come and play. Really difficult. The home crowd right on top of you on pitch side. But for Perth Glory, we've seen twice 2 really good deliveries. Found Heyman, then found Robers. So stopping those moments, a set piece a little more difficult to do so, but that early cross in, it's going to be something that Stephen Peters is having a close look at.
And once again, from a resumption of play, Perth Glory this season have struggled. And you can go back through their matches so far this season. They conceded first against Brisbane, went down 1-0, fought their way back, started the second half, went to sleep. That was, I should say, that was in round 2. In round 1 against Western Sydney, they conceded right out of half-time. And then last week, same thing against Sydney. 2 breaks in that second half with the Lightning, 2 goals conceded. Same thing here at the start of the game, 2 goals conceded in the first 10 minutes. So it's a concern. Sardo's delivery. And it was attacked by Susan Ponsoncam, and she is going to win her side a corner. One thing we have seen, though, in those matches, their ability to fight back.
Well, good resilience shown in Aroba's arguing the point. You can understand why. That looked to come off Susan Ponsoncam.
Maybe the ponytail. Did it hit the ponytail of Aroba's, Grace? So Tova with the set piece. Judy, it's a great delivery. And I tell you what, Wainwright is asking, saying, well, this should be a corner. Maybe that's a square up from the one before.
Well, it should be a goal, not just a corner, but that's a free header at the far post, completely unmarked. The question doesn't need to be whether or not that's a corner. That has to be on target. Really good chance for Perth. And if they can grab an early response to these 2 Canberra goals and reduce the deficit by just the 1, they'll keep a little bit of hope alive. Still plenty of football to be played in this match. Still plenty of time for Perth to claw their way back in, but you've got to make the most of those chances.
And to be fair, if you think about those chances they've had, so Holler had a very good chance early, good powerful header from the 6-yard box, and then we saw that chance for Wainwright, free header at the back post. It could well be 2-2. And here's a chance here, Bronte Truitt, chance to show her speed, and she takes on the left foot strike, and Sally James, that was not convincing at all. She does have those kind of moments in her where she just can clock off. We saw some of her best last week.
Just indecisive. Not sure whether to let that one go or to get some body behind it, but in the end, Sally James did neither.
So you got the likes of Badawea, Zog targets here. In the end, the ball goes to no one in purple. And they will get, fortunately, a throw in. Meters is the call from Ant Jagaranek. Both averted back though, true. For Badawea, she can produce something special out of nowhere. Roll the Badawea, but she's up against the experienced Liz Anton today. Just keep an eye on that little battle. Liz Anton just recently back in the country after playing in Norway. Albot last season, or in the intervening period between the 2 Ninja A-League seasons. Badawea gives away the free kick on Sasaki.
Just a little nibble at the heels. But I like the play earlier from Perth. Tian McKenna, just with the awareness to let that one roll, to find the player through.
Slip it through. Little touch there from Sienna Dale. She's had to work her way back from the dreaded ACL. Zog. So giving chase. And this will be a tough decision for the referee. Says it's a Canberra throw. Just wasting no time, even with this 2-0 lead, Canberra. So Young's delivery over the head of Sasha Grove. Look at those two. Almost identical twins, aren't they? Sasha Grove and Grace Johnson. Two really exciting young players, very similar in the way they go about their work. So there's another little battle to keep an eye out for today. Two of the really rising stars in Australian football, aren't they?
Yeah, both Johnston and Grove, great engines. Look to get up and down, provide, and then when called upon, do their defensive work, get back into position. So those two coming up head-to-head today. Interesting to see who edges out on top, who nullifies the other.
And that's where the threats have come from for Perth this season, from those wide areas, especially Grace Johnson. She destroyed Western Sydney Wanderers in that second half, with the, well, even in the first half, with the delivery for the first goal for Holler, but especially in the second.
Yeah, she had a great year last year, Grace Johnston, and is backing up again this season with a really impressive start to the year. And likewise for Canberra United, a lot of their attacking outlets in previous fixtures have come through the work rate of Sasha Grove, getting forward, providing crosses.
Heyman looking to turn. And Taylor Young. This is this little battle, and we touched on it earlier, just with the speed. Taylor Young able to play a little bit higher today.
Yeah, she's definitely pushed further up, further into the field, and looking to isolate.
Oh, about the turn from Heyman. Back in the Matildas squad for that friendly series against the Football Ferns. So she'll be coming up against her teammate Liz Anton. They'll be best of friends today as they look for their first win of the season, and they're going about it the right way here, Canberra. Good touch from McKenna, able to recalibrate. Taylor Young just giving Bronte True no space to work in. Olasino set up the first goal, but just crunched in there by Sardo. McKenna pounces on the loose ball. Holler now with space to work in. Pushes it out in front of Honsong Cam. Has Badawea in the middle. So too Bronte True. But Taylor Young just got herself in position to thwart True as she looked to bring the ball down. Heyman just dropping into midfield as she so often does, looking to release Olasino. Looks a good signing early doors, doesn't she? Josie Olasino, the American, come out of Box Hill United in the NPL Victoria. And we know how important speed is across any sport, but especially in football. And a chance here for Canberra to break and potentially use Olasino, Sasaki, and Taylor Young. Well closed down. McKenna taking on Olasino and then delivering a dangerous ball that Anton has to head over her own goal. And that is a bright moment for Perth.
Yeah, I like that from Tiana McKenna, just showing a little bit of confidence back in herself. We were just speaking of the speed of Josie Olasino. And that's a difficult header, defensive header, when the ball is travelling back toward your own goal. Anton gets it right on that occasion.
It's a good little win, isn't it? for McKenna in that little battle. I'm seeing the praises of Olasino. Good strength from McKenna. Can they produce something, though, from this corner? Delivery straight into the arms of Sally James. I tell you what, the calls from the crowd, that's a card. I don't know if I've seen that in a long... Have you seen that at all, Grace, lately? A yellow card for preventing the keeper releasing the ball?
Yeah, not in my time. Nah.
I'd love to see it just for a bit of fun, but...
The Canberra crowd are a vocal bunch. But important grab that from Sally James. 3 corners to the way of Perth Glory. Canberra yet to get one up their end.
It was a frustration that Jagrenek mentioned from last week's match against Canberra, conceding from a set piece and just can't afford to do that.
Yeah, and there's just a couple of instances where players, officials are like are shouting for free kicks to be given. And really, you've just got to get on with the job there. You won't get everyone go your way. And just those momentary pauses can allow a team for a quick counter, a quick transition.
Michelle Heyman and McKenna almost outworked there by Olasino. Just came from her blind side. Now Grace Johnson, a chance to stretch her legs. Bronte True is free over here on the right, but instead they use Honsong Cam down the left. And that is a terrific tackle from Emma Robers. Well, that's tackling perfection.
Yeah, great timing by Robers. Had to get the read on it right. Just stood up strong really well, time challenge.
And look at that from Heyman. Just scoops it up and over the top for Grove and Dale. And starting debut. Dale Estate had to scramble for it. Canberra, they just feel like they could almost kill Perth Glory off with a 3rd goal.
It started really transitionally, hasn't it? One end to the other. The field's starting to get really stretched already. And this Canberra's attack just a little slow to react. Heyman sliding through. Gordon not too far behind either. But from end to end it goes, and the field is starting to get stretched. Lots of space opening up between the lines.
Holler and McKenna. Is that playing too much into Canberra's hands for Perth, like, and the fact that the match is being stretched?
Well, I think so, because the space in behind is benefiting the likes of Sasha Grove, as we saw in that last play. Michelle Heyman with space to exploit. Sienna Dale has pace about her as well, the young 18-year-old with her first start in the A-League this afternoon. You look at the field already, how far the Perth players are apart, and it's just allowing Canberra to pick their passes, not on that occasion.
Now Zog harassed by Heyman. Michelle Heyman has conceded the free kick. Gee whiz, I thought that was okay.
Rachel Mitchinson disagrees. Benny will have another look at it. Just a little arm over the shoulder, perhaps enough for the referee to say a foul conceded.
Do you reckon that's enough?
It's a little soft for me. That one, Michelle Heyman really hurries well, pressures her opposition incredibly well.
Well, it's a good call for Perth. A very good call for Perth, because as a centre-back, you'd say you want to be stronger in that kind of area of the pitch.
You can't afford to show a player like Michelle Heyman any little sniff at the ball.
Holler work away between Olasino and Taylor Young. Beth Gordon darting between a couple of Perth players. Grove, was just sitting up there perfectly for Sasha Grove. Just couldn't make it count, though. It was expertly left by Michelle Heyman.
And this is a great ball from Bethany Gordon. On the floor, nice and smooth in the delivery. Clever use of the body by Heyman again. Grove just leaning back, sending that one skyward.
So Wainwright just nudges it past Taylor Young. Here's an opportunity now with Taylor Young pushing forward. But you almost feel like that's the issue that Perth have got. Bronte True really their most important outlet in terms of speed. But even when Taylor Young's out of position, you've got Bertolicio there. He's like a dog with a bone as well. But now they look to use Johnson on the left. Cuts back onto a right boot. Tova. On Song Cam. Very technical. Good with the ball at her feet. Takes on a couple. Tries to roll it towards Holler. Wainwright and Johnston. Both have looked dangerous in those kind of areas. They've been able to build some pressure here on Canberra. And that is a nice ball if True can catch up with it. And she can. The touch is heavy around Taylor Young. Sardo. And True. Now with Holler. Adawea made an intelligent run just in behind, just wasn't able to be found. Frustration from the Canberra bench. Perth allowed to go on here. True with space to work with. Time to pick the cross, but it wasn't a great delivery, considering she had that amount of time. And you would say from a Perth perspective, there's probably a good foul from Zog. And even better that she doesn't get a yellow card just to talking to.
Oh, she's walking a fine line there on his Zog. There were shouts just moments earlier, the side, Anthony Jagarenik asking the question, how is that one a foul? And the one prior not, or vice versa. Second contact in as many moments brings Gordon to ground. I think Zog's a little lucky to get away without a yellow card there.
Well, if Bethany Gordon is able to get that pass away, it's chaos again for Perth, isn't it? With that speed that they just have rushing forward into space.
You could see Canberra a few moments ago when Perth had the ball advancing with it. Canberra just sitting back, allowing Perth to approach, which meant that there was more space in behind to play into, more field to exploit.
They're just drawing them on, aren't they?
Just baiting a trap.
It's the rope-a-dope, isn't it? And it's working perfectly. Two sides. Here's Bronte True, just popped over the top. And the flag comes up for offside. But isn't it funny when you see two sides who don't really want the ball, just wanting to invite the other one on a little bit further? And of course it's more advantageous for Canberra because of that advantage they've got with pace. For Perth Glory, in those tight areas in the box, they have got the technical players to find a way through, but you push forward, presents a problem, especially when you're already down 2-0. Adawea linking with Johnston, has Holler and True as targets in the middle. Anton did well just to jockey her over towards the sideline, and now Perth have to drop it back to Tova. Johnston. Space to work in. Adawea, here's the turn. Adawea, I had visions. Did you have visions, Grace? I had visions of what happened in Perth a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, she can hit a ball. And that finish you're talking about was pretty special. That, a really well-disguised ball by Grace Johnston. Absolutely sent Bethany Gordon shopping. And then she hits those ones well. Well, we've seen exactly what Roller Adawea can do.
little wide for her liking, Badaway, but able to nudge the pass in front of True. And this should be a corner. And this is exactly what Perth Glory want, because this is as dangerous as they have been this afternoon. From these kind of set pieces, Wainwright with the header, Holler with the header, Tova's deliveries have so far been pretty solid. The last one was straight to Sally James, but the previous set pieces were dangerous. So the left-footed in-swinger, James with the punch. It wasn't convincing, but Sasaki got it away. And Perth now rushing back to try and extinguish any kind of danger. You can see Sienna Dale up there high. Her pace. Stephen Peters with a little bit to think about. The final 15 minutes of regulation time in this first half. Damage was done early by Canberra United. Heyman in the third, Rovers in the 8th. And here come Canberra again on the counter-attack. Perth, though, a lot of numbers back on that occasion. Had at least 5 players back. Able to snuff out that danger. So averted for that particular moment. Badawea. Tova. And Bronte True. Was able to track it down, but Liz Anton just did enough to thwart her, and Canberra working her way through Taylor Young, but Canberra just not able to find a way through in the last few minutes, and Perth having a better period of this match. Badawea away from Bertolicio. Now True is a little heavy, and it crossed the byline, which is disappointing for Perth, because this has been a good little patch.
Yeah, nice spell from the Glory. And good touches. True, Badawea.
Oh, now Taylor Young with a poor giveaway. Badawea turning, shooting straight into the breadbasket of Sally James. But Canberra just struggling to find the passes through Perth Glory now. They seem to have been able to deal with the break.
Well, Canberra need to be on high alert here. Badawea growing into the game. True starting to get a bit more involved down the right-hand side. Some of those combinations coming together nicely.
Just not able to make these passes stick at the moment, Canberra. And Perth, that's a poor pass over the sideline, but you just feel like when Canberra have broken in the last few minutes, Perth have had more numbers behind the ball to sandbag a little more.
Possession fairly equal across both sides. But you're right, a couple of these passes for Canberra not sticking in the way that they need to be. Hand in possession back a little too loosely. Perth organising well, getting some better bodies behind the ball to disrupt.
Johnston and Badawea. Look at that strength, just to hold off Anton. Came from behind, saw the body really jolt, and Wainwright, poor giveaway. Heyman. Canberra. Stephen Peters now. He's yelling out at the 4th official, Rebecca Duque. She's got a few fires to put out at the moment. Jagrenek from one side, Peters from the other. Both are claiming double standards.
Don't forget about the grandstand behind the 4th official. That hears a fair amount of it as well.
Look at that, Sienna Dale. How has she managed that? And then the strength, she bundles over Sardo. Well, that is remarkable, and gets the applause from the home crowd. Gee, that is most impressive from a young player.
Yeah, great strength shown by Sienna Dale. We mentioned that she's quick, but she's strong on the ball, has just proven. The 18-year-old, just 23 minutes off the bench last week.
Taylor Young, Heyman, and Michelle Heyman probably had more time than she thought.
But did really well to dart in front, Heyman. Similar kind of delivery to what we saw the first goal, produced a bit of Olasino to find Heyman.
So she's already got 2 goals in the new season, Michelle Heyman. Oh, there's a nasty one for Johnston. She's just feeling the impact of that boot across the chest, I would think. Oh, Bronte True has done Taylor Young there. True's delivery. Again, Sally James cleaning up at the near post. She's been solid. The Canberra goalkeeper had that one moment where she let the ball slip through her fingers, but outside of that, it's been very assured. Canberra, though, have not been that over the last 10 minutes. There's another soft turnover of possession. McKenna is playing in the midfield today. He's been playing on the right edge of that back 5, back 3, offering the width on the right, but into midfield today. Here's a whistle won by Heyman.
That's clever from Michelle Heyman. A little clumsy through the back. Tova just upending Heyman. But it was neatly done by Canberra, playing out from the back. Sasaki really composed on the ball, connecting the pass.
We were chatting before this game off air, Grace, about Sasaki last week. Really struggled to get herself into the game in Adelaide. You wonder, sometimes coming up against your old side, you can feel the weight of expectation to prove a point, but she's certainly worked her way into this one nicely. Taylor Young, some yards to work with.
Yeah, she has, Nana Sasaki, and she's a really gifted player on the ball. A bit of contact coming through late from Bronte True. But Sasaki needing to get more involved for Canberra's midfield, and she's growing into this one nicely.
McKenna and Bertolicio come together. That was a willing challenge. 2 players not giving an inch there. And Badaware and Anton come together again.
Well, no need there, really, for Liz Anton. Well, in their own attacking half, had Badaware facing her own goal.
How much are you looking to send a message as well as centre-back Liz Anton? She knows, well, here we go. This time it's Badaware against Bertolicio. And has Bertolicio gotten away with one here, maybe? She's hit the deck.
Are you serious?
And you can hear Stephen Peters is furious. And that was my initial thought. My thought was Bertolicio's gone down here to sort of shield the referee from thinking that there was something illegal going on here.
There's heavy contact through the back of Badaware. And it's something that Badaware does really well in her game, comes searching for the ball, receives the ball to feet. And maybe Bertolicio also treading a fine line. Rachel Mitchinson not quick to reach for the pocket.
Now, what's happened here? Is that a hair clip?
Lost an earpiece.
Oh, it's the earpiece. Have you seen that before? I don't think I've seen players helping a referee with their earpiece before. You've got to love this in the Ninja A-League. Liz Anton and Ailey Taylor-Young just doubling up on the sticky tape duties. Might need a bit more adhesive in the half-time break. Get that earpiece in position. But speaking of sticky situations, that's exactly where Perth are. As we tick down towards half-time. Roller Badaware is not getting much change out of Anton or Bertolicio, for that matter. Zog stepping forward, kicking it over the top. It spins away from True. It only takes one moment, though, for Perth Glory, and they've created them in this first half. All of a sudden, the jitters just start to appear across the team in green because they haven't won this season. Last week, they gave up a 1-goal lead to lose it 2-1 against Adelaide United. They led 1-0 against Wellington. Finished in a 1-1 draw. They led 1-0 against Newcastle. They lost that one 2-1. So they've given up leads, Canberra, this season. And a 2-goal advantage is an extremely dangerous one. Especially when you add that caveat that it's a side that is playing a little lower on confidence than they would like to be at this stage of the new season. Sienna Dale, what a starting debut she has had here for Canberra. That is a misplaced pass, though. Tova, Ponsonkamp, Johnston. Ooh, Sally James just waiting until the very last moment. Stephen Peters and Tiana Gauci, assistant coach for Perth Glory. Having a think about what message they may give at half-time. Do they go to the likes of Iskia Brooking on the bench? Speed of Ella Lincoln. Scored a fortnight ago against Brisbane. Goal on the counter-attack. 'This is nice from Tova. Taylor Young. Found by Wainwright, who's just struggled at times in a first start of the new season, just trying to find her feet. Only come off the bench in limited minutes this season, Wainwright.
Three appearances just off the bench, totaling 40 minutes and now ticking over into the 42nd minute. So for players like her, for players like Sienna Dale, moving into territory where they haven't played this many minutes so far, whether or not either coach looks to an early change at half-time.
Do they need a bit more muscle in the midfield, Perth Glory, when you're coming up against when you're coming up against willing players like a Beth Gordon, Taylor Young as well, has got herself about in there. It made life really difficult for Wainwright.
Yeah, the difficult thing for Stephen Peters with the bench has got Chinema, a defender, Olivia Wood, a young midfielder, Iskia Brooking, an even younger midfielder, and then a couple of attacking players in Ella Lincoln and Tanika Lala. There's not really that authority in the way that you're talking about, Ben. Of course, we've mentioned already without Izzy Dalton, who would be that. That's missing today for Perth. Sarah O'Donoghue not in today's match day squad, always provides good physicality.
Yeah, and that's a big, there's two big losses there in that aspect. As Ponsonkamp, O'Donoghue, as my understanding, is not selected today. I've been told that Dalton is out with a knee problem, but she's expected to be back by next week. Overlap here from Sardo, and the delivery just a bit high for Holler. But that is where they have a real advantage. Badawea and Holler up against Anton in the box. We know they're physical, strong. They just need to find the quality on delivery.
If they can get that right, the delivery into those dangerous areas. We've seen on a couple of corners, they have looked really good.
Coming on you.
It was from this kind of corner where Tova's caused headaches, and that is a great delivery. James has to punch it. Gordon away. Sardo with the strike, and this will be another corner. So Canberra United on red alert here right before half-time.
Yeah, nice. Good ball into the box. Sally James forced to punch up and under. And the follow-up shot, not too bad either.
So Tova off the short corner, just changing the angle. Badawia didn't get a piece of the header. Heyman with the clearance away. Just getting a little tense here for Canberra. And then you get a little bit tight. Mistakes sometimes happen. Honsong Cam can exploit that. Up against Robers. There's a mismatch in terms of speed. But Honsong Cam ditches it off to McKenna, whose strike is sailing well wide of the target. But Honsong Cam on that left edge has really looked dangerous when she's got into those one-on-one situations with Robers.
Yes, she has. And Tian McKenna is capable from that kind of distance.
The fourth official has indicated that there will be a minimum of 2 minutes of time.
So Rebecca Ducot with the board up, so 2 minutes of additional time. And Perth, not for the first time this season, finishing the half stronger, but they don't have anything to show for it as of the moment.
Good thing for Perth in their first 3 games. They have been the most susceptible in those few minutes after the half-time break. So that 15-minute window after half-time, they have conceded their most number of goals. And I'm sure that's something that Stephen Peters would be aware of, how they don't fall asleep, they don't switch off.
So now it's Canberra with a late set piece. Bertolicio. There's the likes of Heyman. Robers is who she's looking for there. Long way from goal, though. Sasaki's throw to Robers. And is this another free kick potentially? No, referee saying 6 of one, half dozen of the other. Play on. Holler. Can Perth move it quickly? They need to get it to True, and they do. But Taylor Young's also got speed, so it's speed versus speed here. And Taylor Young gets herself in position, closing down the space for True. And now it's Olasina. Josie Olasina, who set up the first goal. Dropping it off to Bertolicio. They're happy with his advantage here, Canberra. Just want to control possession as they head towards the half-time interval. Sasaki, Mitchinson playing advantage. Grove is back to her feet. Time to deliver. And that is half-time at McKellar Park. Well, it was a crucial day for both sides. Canberra looking for their first win of the new season, the team who made the finals last year. Just 1 point from their opening 3 matches, but didn't they start this one well? 2 goals in the first 8 minutes. Michelle Heyman running off a lovely cross from Josie Olasino. The American making an impact already in the first month of the new season before Emma Robers converted from a set piece to make it Canberra United 2, Perth Glory 0 at the interval. Well, let's take a look at the first half highlights, and Graysgill, it was all green to start this one.
Yeah, well, Route 1 football. Direct ball over the top, a couple of touches from Olasino, and puts that on a platter for Michelle Heyman. This is a flying start for Canberra. Heyman still with some work to do, had Grace Johnson close for company, but managed to push it past the on-rushing Dallas Day. And this the second off the free kick. Lovely shape from the ball of Bethany Gordon. And it's Emma Robers, who has a bit of height about her, just grapples for that one. Up and over the head of a disappointed Dallas Day. They were the 2 goals that we saw in the first half, and Canberra starting with a real flurry.
Perth Glory, well, they weren't without their own chances, and to be fair, Grace, they probably could have had a couple of goals from the set pieces.
Yeah, I think certainly that one, that's got to be something that's hitting the target at very least, and this a good chance as well, just pushed into potentially oncoming traffic. Heyman just moments away, good chances. at either end, but Canberra with the better of him.
Well, here are the first half stats, and you can see possession. Two sides who are not really keen on possession, but Canberra United less of it, and well, they have been able to make the most despite less possession. Those 2 goals coming on the counter-attack. You see that bottom right stat though, Grace. Crosses made. Perth Glory, you feel like they have to be more accurate there. They get those more accurate, and I reckon they're back in this one.
Yeah, exactly right. Really creating a lot, using the width of the field, and that's causing a few troubles for Canberra United defensively. They've dealt with it so far, but something for Perth to focus on into the second 45 minutes.
Yeah, big team talk coming up for Stephen Peters at halftime. Perth Glory staring down the barrel of 3 straight defeats if they can't turn this one around in the nation's capital. All right, we are going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back with more of the halftime show coming up next. Welcome back to McKellar Park. It's round 4 of the Ninja A-League, and it is Canberra United leading Perth Glory by 2-0. And the last time these two sides faced off, Perth Glory left with more than just a difficult result. The match marked the moment. Natalie Tatham's season changed, her ACL giving way. And in the months since, she's traded training for rehab sessions, steadily working her way back. Now, after a long climb from surgery, Tatham is aiming to return to the pitch early in the new year.
Back heel was good from O'Donoghue. It's left behind though as Tatham lost her footing, holding her right knee, and this doesn't look good.
So I did my ACL in our third last game of the season. I did my other ACL 5 years ago, so it was pretty obvious to me when I did it in the game.
And you hate to see this.
Our physio tried to be super positive and tell me that I probably haven't done it, but been there, done that. So pretty devastating. I was also meant to go into an Aussie camp the day after, so I think that was probably the most devastating thing for me because I've been looking forward to that. I think football-wise, I know I can do the rehab, I know I can get back. I think it's just such a long time trying to do that rehab, and being away from the team in off-season makes it tough doing stuff by yourself. But I think, yeah, as much as it sucks, I've done it before. I know I've been there, done it. I know I can do the rehab, so using that to my advantage. The first probably 3 months is the toughest because you have to learn to walk again. Your brain kind of forgets how to do that when they take your hamstring out and put it into your knee. Yeah, that's probably the hardest part, learning to walk again. When you start running, learning to run in a straight line is pretty tough until you can do it. So I think there's a lot of hours spent probably behind the scenes that people don't see, doing like 1% things, like trying to get our legs straight again, trying to get our leg bent again. It's probably the toughest part of rehab. The small things that we take for granted every day, like being able to walk up and down steps without pain, being able to sleep through the night without pain is probably the toughest part of rehab. I think as the rehab goes on, returning to the game, the mental part of it is the hardest part. I think we do the rehab, we do the strength training, so we know we're fit enough, but being confident to go out there knowing you're not going to do it again, I think, especially once you've done 2, is the hardest part. Trying to trust that you can go out there and play again and it's not going to happen because, you know, you've been there, you thought it wouldn't happen again and it did. So I think the hardest part of rehab will be that end stage, being confident to step back on the pitch.
To and fro, Tatham comes up with it for Perth Glory. She's crossed it to Fonsalcam. So close. Ball in from Tatham, Holler is there.
I mean, if you asked me, I'd say tomorrow. But I can't return before 9 months. That's kind of a rule with the rehab. So I'll hit 9 months on the 10th of January. So aiming to return in January if my rehab goes to plan. But it is a long journey, so I'm just trying to focus week by week, getting better every single week to aim to return to the pitch in end of January.
Well, she receives a round of applause. Natalie Tatham heads to the sideline.
Yeah, we're looking forward to seeing Nat Tatham back on the park early in 2026, and no doubt Stephen Peters and the Perth Glory coaching staff will be looking forward to having her back as part of the squad. Well, the kids are on the park here, loving life at McKellar in Canberra, and it is Canberra United leading 2-0, but there's also another match which is just wrapping up as we speak, but this is a story and a half for round 4. Lauren Allen, she's been hitting the headlines all this week. Her 100th match in the Ninja A-League. She also works as a radiographer as well as playing football. And what a player she's been for the Newcastle Jets over many, many years. Cass Davis. What about the assist from Davis? What a player she's been for the Jets. Setting up Lauren Allen for a 1-0 lead for Newcastle. And I can tell you it is the 97th minute. And the Jets are leading 1-0 over Western Sydney Wanderers. Canberra United 2-0 here against Perth Glory. Tomorrow we're across the ditch for Wellington and Melbourne victory, and then Sydney and the Mariners coming up next week. Important to note, Sydney playing Canberra next week. Canberra will be without Heyman and Anton. So big little period of the season coming up for Sydney. They might be able to rack up a few points, rise up in the race for the premiership, with of course Melbourne City not playing at the moment. All right, we are off to a break. Second half coming up next from Canberra. We'll catch you soon. Welcome back to Canberra. Well, Perth Glory, they have come out. They are on a mission here because Canberra United have not even emerged from the sheds. Perth Glory are in a huddle down their end of the pitch, and Stephen Peters has decided to make 2 changes. Iskia Brooking has come on. Naomi Chinema is also on at halftime. Liz Anton, the new recruit, you could say that. She was here at Canberra last season, but of course returning to the team in green after some time in Norway during the Australian winter. Hasn't she been an important asset to Canberra in the first half? And Ant Jagaranek will be most pleased, Grace Gill, with the scoreline, but these changes are going to give them something to think about. And Perth, well, they needed to change something up, didn't they?
Yeah, did. Well and truly. They needed a response, and we mentioned in that first half that it's this 15 minutes, this next 15-minute block for Perth where they have been the most susceptible to leaking goals. So on comes Naomi Chinema. On comes 16-year-old Iskia Brooking. They need a response to this 2-goal deficit, and they need to ensure that that doesn't extend to a 3rd goal for Canberra United.
Yeah, a day before her 17th birthday, 23rd of November, her birthday. And it's Canberra United who get us underway in the second half as they look to build on this 2-goal lead. And it's what Ant Jagaranek talked about last week after that result against Adelaide. He said, yes, we scored early. Some would say we scored too early, but he was most disappointed that they weren't able to go on with it and make it 2-0. Well, they have today. Can they go on here and make a statement? Sienna Dale utilising the width of Taylor Young down the left, who was industrious as she always is in the first half, but that delivery just straight up into the arms of Daloste.
Well, of course, it was Chiara Di Demizio who scored for Canberra in that loss against Adelaide, and then looked to do her hamstring not too long after the goal. Really disappointing after what was a delightful finish. So she's unavailable today.
Robers and Ponsonkham allowed to go, but that's the little battle that you feel like Perth want to try and hone in on. Ponsonkham versus Robers. They did get some joy in the first half.
Yeah, they did, and you wonder as well if Perth's attacking line might show a little more versatility in their movement. True coming across the line, Ponsonkham driving centrally. They're fairly stuck to their positions in that first 45 minutes. I wonder if they might vary that up a little in this second half.
Look at this run from Sasaki, and Heyman's offside. Gee whiz, what a chance that is for Canberra. Sasaki just ghosted through the midfield.
I think she needed to take the strike here. It's selfless, but Heyman knew she was already offside. The opportunity had passed, and Sasaki looked to disguise the pass past Perth's back line.
Try and say that quickly.
I don't think I can, but Sasaki needed to shoot there.
And we know she can shoot from range as well. We've seen it before in the Ninja A-League. Here's Bronte True. Clip up and over the top. Any concern, though, let's see how this plays out. Iskia Brooking, Holler. Now Olasino. Is it pinched off? A good press this from Perth. Brooking. Now McKenna looking for the cross. It's dangerous, but it just was over the head of Holler. And that was the stat we were pinpointing at halftime. The crosses. We know Perth love to cross. They love to use the width. Johnston, McKenna on the right to start the season, but she's been more in the midfield today. They get these more accurately, and that is what Johnson does here, and very nearly results in Perth's opening goal.
That's a quality delivery. Grace Johnston cutting back onto her right, and Bronte True has done really well to get pole position. Body in front of Bertolicio and just can't steer the shot past Sally James. They're the moments for Perth that they need to make a little more of.
Yeah, they've just been, well, to be fair, the Wainwright header in the first half was more than a half chance, but those half chances, when you're down 2-0, you need them to come off, don't you?
You do, and concerningly, True just pulled up a little proppy after that contact with Bertolicio, grabbing onto one of her calves. Didn't look too comfortable.
Yeah, it does look as though she's not running as freely as she was earlier. So just having a look. Now Zog's down. Still looks as though Tova is just operating a little further forward here. Just trying to identify here, Grace, are Perth moving more to a back four, or are they sticking with the three? Well, Tova is going back into the back line here, but the speed here from Canberra has very nearly carved apart Perth. Again, it was only Grace Johnston who saved the day.
Yeah, great cover by Johnston. She continues to provide that coverage at the back for Perth. But I think that's what we're looking at here. Two centre backs in Zog and Chinema. Johnston still on the left.
Yeah, Tova definitely playing further forward, isn't she? Matawea. Sasaki bringing it back to her goalkeeper. Robers pressed by Johnston. The problem is, though, while Johnston is damaging in attack, if she's that far up the pitch and they do get caught out, there are going to be some alarm bells ringing. Sasaki, well, that'll be a free kick. And Mitchinson this time is going to hand out the yellow card.
Yeah, I think Holler gave herself away. Nice little touch from Grove and Sasaki. The first touch across the body of Holler is clever. An obvious grab. And she was quick to concede. She knew exactly what she was doing, Gabby Holler.
So Heyman just trying to ghost into a little bit of space there. You can just see her drifting in behind Oni Zog. Chinema's keeping an eye on Sienna Dale. So Bethany Gordon, set piece duty. It's floated in the direction of Anton and Heyman. Zog looking along. I don't want to curse Perth here, but it's been a much better start to the second half than we've seen in previous matches this season.
And it will need to be for their team. They cannot afford to concede another in this window. Need to find a response.
On camp, keeping an eye on Grove. That delivery was a good one. Dale got a body in the good position there just to shield the ball and almost create a chance for Canberra. Probably should have in the end. Well, if you think Sienna Dale's good, I've also been told Lillian Skelly is one to watch as well when she works her way back into this from injury into this Canberra side.
Yeah, it was a real shame to see her go down last year and do her ACL. Promising young player.
And Christopherson as well, if you're wondering where she is, she's got a bit of a pelvis issue. That's just from maybe a bit of overuse. She played a big season in the NPL, so she's not too far away, I'm told, from a return. Olasino. First time ball into Sienna Dale. Holding off Johnston. Grove now. Taylor Young drives the shot at goal. Fortunately, the deflection has slowed the pace and straight to the goalkeeper, but good build-up again from Canberra.
That's a nice approach from United. Sienna Dale, in as many minutes as she's ever played at this level, still continues to show good strength on the ball.
Grove just able to ease away through the midfield. It was just open for business again. What is going on there in the middle for Perth Glory? Because at the moment you can drive a double-decker bus at about 5 kilometres an hour through it and it'd still make it through.
It was just ball watching by Perth. Sasha Grove not with the right decision at the end of that move.
And now it's Taylor Young. Just too much speed. Dale driving. And blocked off by Chinema. Well, Chinema has come out with intent, and her teammates need to lift to that level.
Yeah, that's good by Chinema. Had to close the space. Nice run inside from Gordon and Dale, an option as well. And if Chinema's not there to close that strike down, it's a really good chance for Canberra once more. Perth's defence really need to consolidate.
Well, they are just creaking at the moment here, Perth. And Canberra could puncture any kind of fight back if they can score again here. Delivery dangerous. Bertolicio is up. It is a scrounge in the box. Olasino, down she goes. Didn't look like much was doing. And cleared away for the moment. It has crossed the sideline.
Oh, a real scrap. Difficult area. Bertolicio gets up well. Anton an option there, but good traffic, good numbers in behind the ball. It's Brooking who managed to scrap it clear for Perth.
So here comes Emma Hawkins, the American. She's come out of Portugal and Iceland most recently. She came through the Uni of Oklahoma. What kind of impact can the 20-year-old American have on this match? And it's somewhat of an eyebrow raiser when you see an import coming off the bench. So a point to prove here for Hawkins. And here are more problems. Bethany Gordon driving it through into the net of Dallas Day, and Canberra get their third, and it was coming because the Perth midfield has just disappeared.
Well, that's just lovely from Bethany Gordon. Nice build-up from Canberra United. How about this little give and go from Michelle Heyman? Puts that on a platter, and Gordon makes absolutely no mistake. She has hit that sweetly. That's one to celebrate. And Canberra 3 to the good.
Well, the midfield are having an absolute field day at the moment for Canberra. Absolutely space aplenty to work with, and there was just no pressure. And Bethany Gordon, what a hit that was. She's done it at NPL New South Wales level, winning titles. She wants to add some at A-League women's level after being part of this Canberra side who went to the finals last year. This is a statement performance from Canberra after a winless start across their opening 3 matches. They have very much dominated this match, and Stephen Peters looks crestfallen.
Well, it's this 15-minute window we've spoken about a couple of times already. And now of the 9 goals Perth have conceded, 5 of them have come in the 15 minutes following half-time.
The abacus is going to be out on that period of the season for Perth Glory. It is a problem. It is a massive problem, and it doesn't get any easier for them because they're away next week to Melbourne Victory, the grand finalists, before they've got a bye. And then they've got a glut of matches at home. But it's this period to start the season where they begin with 4 out of the first 5 matches away from home. 3 trips, or 2 trips to Sydney. Western Sydney, Sydney FC, Canberra and Melbourne victory. And just look at this midfield. So they've got Brooking and Tova playing there in the midfield, but they've got 4 attacking players. Holler, Badawea, True, Ponsonkamp. And there's not much reinforcement in the midfield. They do get a corner here though. It is all out attack, isn't it? It is throwing all the chips in for Perth Glory.
And it's tough because Perth have had their chances. A couple in the first half, little moments, little openings, and they just haven't made the most of them. It's not a case of not seeing the final third for Perth Glory. They've been there. They're having a lot of crosses. They look dangerous on set pieces.
Well, here is that set piece. Is there a route back for the Glory? Bounces up awkwardly. Turn from Zog. Johnston. McKenna. Up and over the top. Here is Brooking. They're just out-muscled by Heyman. They've just been more desperate. They've been more physical, Canberra. They've been too quick for Perth Glory. So Georgia Cassidy expected to come back in the coming week. She was close for this one. Stephen Peters was saying during the week. Nat Tatham back in the new year. Megan Wynn also not due back until 2026. And her speed is a real asset for Perth Glory that they're lacking at the moment. Bronte True. And Ponsonkamp, but just too much industry from Canberra again.
Well, Georgia Cassidy has become a really important part of Perth's midfield, and they're missing her at the moment. We've mentioned Izzy Dalton already. Megan Wynn we saw last year, not just her speed, but a bit of a long throw specialist, and opposition teams really struggled to deal with that.
Tova. Brooking just out-muscled again. That wins it back. Iskia Brooking. That was excellent work. She didn't give up the ghost after having it taken off her. And now McKenna in a foot race with Hawkins, who's got fresh legs. The American. She wants to make a statement. She slips it in behind for Taylor Young. Heyman was waiting. She was lurking there.
That's good movement from Taylor Young. And Hawkins did well to hold on to possession and slip the ball through. Taylor Young definitely finding herself in more advanced positions. There was plenty of Perth players behind the ball, and Heyman, the isolated green shirt, in the middle.
And Jagaranek just asking a couple of players, are you good to continue? One of those, Hayley Taylor Young. Fair enough, she does so much work. She'd rack up the kilometres on the tracker. So change up here, Sasaki. Beth Gordon's already scored one. Why not try a second? Now McKenna just looking to launch, and that is not in the playbook of Perth Glory at the moment, but they do get the recycle here through Badawea. And True finds herself in space. Lots of numbers back though here for Canberra. True. She thread the eye of a needle. Look at how many Canberra players are back. 1, 2, 3. There's at least 7, plus the goalkeeper. This is a really desperate side for that first win of the new season. But on the flip side, Grace, this is where we find out about Perth's mentality. McKenna. Can they still show the same intensity down 3-0 as they would if they were up 3-0?
It's a fixture that, over the history of the league, Canberra certainly have the wood on. But these two sides have shared their fair number of draws, and there's still a hefty hill to climb for Perth to climb back into this fixture, this result.
Nice turn from Olasino. She just looks better and better every week. Now it's Hawkins, just dwelled on the ball. McKenna came from the blind spot. How high is this hill, Grace? Is it Ainsley or are we at Kosciuszko here for Perth Glory? I could probably see Mount Ainsley from here.
Well, I imagine pretty soon we'll see the likes of an Ella Lincoln and a Tanika Lala, the two most attacking players on the bench. 25 minutes remaining regulation time. Surely, when you're chasing a game, trying to come back into it, find a way back in. If you're Stephen Peters, you look to those kind of substitutes.
And Lincoln scored on a counter-attack against Brisbane. A match which, in the end, they should have drawn. Zog had a free header from literally a couple of metres out that she put wide. It could have been 3-3. And they fought their way back late in that match from 3-1 down. So do not write Perth off by any stretch. The issue is, can they contain Canberra to just 3? And that looks a little doubtful at the moment based on what Canberra have produced, especially with Perth having to push forward, leaving space in behind. So here comes some changes. And again, it's Perth Glory going to the bench, right on cue, Grace, as you mentioned. So it's Lincoln, who's coming on. Olivia Wood as well, her first minutes of the new season. So Gabby Holler replaced. Frustrating afternoon for the American. Frustrating starting debut for Perth for Bronte True as well. But it was always going to be tough for True when she's really that only speed outlet when it comes to Perth Glory's attack. So just confirming those changes. There's a punching tackle. Brooking. Now Lincoln. Flag up for offside.
Punching challenge. But two changes in Ella Lincoln, who can score goals. Olivia Wood, first minutes in the A-League.
Yeah, debut for Olivia Wood, the 21-year-old. Now, really good season for Perth Red Star in the NPLWA last year. See how this plays out for Canberra. Taylor Young left it a little bit short. Essendon Royal in the NPL Victoria. Last year, Perth Red Star, 4 goals in 14 for Wood, but this is a step up. This is Brooking. And Wood just trying to nudge it forward towards Batawea. For Perth, all changes made now. 22 minutes, so any injury cause them a headache from here. So Wardlow is going to come on. So too is Alex McKenzie as they look to shore up this lead. A couple of defensive changes, so Taylor Young replaced so too Bertolicio. And Wardlow, who only played 47 minutes in round 1 against Newcastle. So a little bit curious for an import, but she hasn't been playing too much football lately across the last 9-10 months. So And Jagaranek just trying to build her up slowly, week by week. And we know how strong she is from her time at the Mariners. At the back, Badawaya's ball into title at the near post for Sally James.
Well, it is a defensive change for Canberra United, the home side. Jasmine Wardlow, you'd imagine, will drop straight back into the back line. We'll have a look to see how the shakes out in a minute. Alex McKenzie as well. Imagine replacing either side of Bertolicio or Taylor Young. But you do anticipate the task would be just to assure things at the back, slow things down, but still 20-odd minutes to play. Plenty of time available, but taking the likes of Bertolicio and Taylor Young off, who are very attacking players in wide fullbacks. Great shifts by them both this afternoon.
Pressure here on Perth as they look to play out. So you can see Grove herring down that left edge. So it looks as though Grove has gone to the left. And McKenzie has come here to the right. Little switch to Taylor Young, who was on that left side. Oh, Bethany Gordon in a little bit of scrap there with McKenna. Just an apology. Was there anything more warranted here?
Well, to be honest, I'm a little curious that there's not a card produced. Bit of a lash out by Bethany Gordon. And she's quick to apologise, no doubt, but she's pulled and torn her opposite player to ground.
It's a frustrating job, isn't it, at times, coaching. And it isn't it incredible how quickly things can shift. You can have that round one win against Western Sydney Wanderers for Perth. All of a sudden, things looking up. And now, staring down the barrel at 3 consecutive losses, Perth Glory. But opportunity knocks here for these young players. Likes of Lincoln and Wood, who've come onto the field. And they make their mark on the Ninja A-League. McKenzie measures the cross, no pressure again. That time it was Grove who got a shot off. Sasaki. It almost looks as though Canberra have got an extra player or two out there. The way they're just easily able to glide passes into players that are in space.
Well, they're comfortably managing this at the moment. And it's certainly been Stephen Peters who's been more proactive with his subs as he's needed to be. Chasing the game, looking for a response. But so far, they haven't been hugely consequential.
And I should correct, so they've still got one change up their sleeve. Lala is the only outfield option they've got. Jess Skinner, the goalkeeper, on the bench. So they've used those 2 changes at half-time and then 2 in that most recent window. And this is the delivery. Robers, well, could she be after a double? I think Robers has blocked a teammate's shot. Heyman tried to get the header off of the back post. It was pinball in the box. And now it's Grace Johnson with a heavy touch pounced on by Olasino. Good strength from Chinema. You just get the feeling she won't be starting on the bench next week, based on what she's produced here in the second half. Drive first to the loosish ball. This at the moment for Canberra, just all about game management. Sasaki. Tova. Quick on the turn. Wood presenting wide. Batawea. And it was just a little nudge there from Liz Anton. Just knocked her off balance. Touch on the ball as well. And Canberra earned back possession. Was just clutching at the head here. This was the chance she had moments ago. She blocked it with her own hand, and whether that would have gone in had it not been blocked by the hand of Rovers.
She's just taking a moment to get a bit of support.
Well, we know if there's ever any of those situations where you've made all your changes and your keeper gets sent off, maybe Emma Rovers could go in goal with reflexes like that. She'll dust herself off from that little knock.
She's an incredibly hard-working player in any team she's involved in, and her versatility really is a strength.
Rovers, well, that was tough to track down. Perth, big chance here. Well, it was a 4-on-3 momentarily. But Canberra's ability to recover in those kind of situations today has been nothing short of exemplary. They have scrambled so well.
That's something that Anthony Jagaranek will be really pleased about. Still 15 minutes to play, but Canberra yet to register a clean sheet for the season, so should the result remain as is, there are some really good signs for Canberra United.
Grace Johnson's pinched a few extra metres there. Free kick Glory's way. So Canberra, you look at this performance and you go, gee, you're surprised they are winless through their opening 3 matches, because it has been a most impressive performance. But you also have to take into account Liz Anton just at the back has been so important in just making that defence look a lot more solid.
Well, it's a level of stability that Liz Anton has brought today, bolstering down the middle of the defensive line.
Wood got up there, a piece of the header. Chinema. McKenna. The delivery is just on the edge of the 6-yard box, but Mackenzie was there first for Canberra. Molisina. Now Hawkins. Can she stretch her legs again, the American? Opts to use Mackenzie. The pace just not there in that counter-attack for Canberra. That time, well worked down the right. Mackenzie and Hawkins. Hawkins versus Tova. Gordon would turn away from the pressure of Brooking. Now Sasaki. Just chipped it almost into space there for Hawkins. Maybe not quite intentionally. And this will be a corner for Canberra. Well, that's a good result in the end for them from that little passage.
Yeah, better patience shown by Canberra United. They're not rushing the cross or delivery. Good move in the middle shown by Gordon. Just recycling the pass back out wide. Canberra definitely not with the lion's share of corners this game. That's been the Perth side of things. But wondering if they can create something here. The delivery from Sasaki, searching, no doubt, for someone like a Michelle Heyman.
I know Sasaki is going to be so crucial this season from these kind of set-piece opportunities. Anton got ahead to it. It spills out for Robers. She very nearly had a double. And no surprises, Emma Robers has never scored a career double in the Ninja A-League. Tanika Lala coming on. Oh, have a look at this. Roller Batawea, hands over the armband to Grace Johnston. And Tanika Lala comes onto the field. Is that a statement or what? First minutes of the year for Lala, who we saw last season as well. And Canberra, look at this. Michelle Heyman gets a breather. What is that? What is doing there? Can we get some interpreters onto that one?
I might need to ask the question afterwards.
Standage folk, yes, we will definitely ask that. We are chatting to Michelle Heyman at the end of this one, and if I forget, Grace, please note that down. That has to be asked to find out what that little sign was. So Malone comes onto the field. She started last week, so too did Stanage Floody. But such is the depth which has flooded into this Canberra side this season. They have been reduced to a spot on the bench this week.
Well, both coaches empty in, and here's another look at that little celebration between Michelle Heyman and Anthony Jagaranek, as Michelle Heyman got a really warm round of applause as she exited the field, but 10 minutes to play, both coaches emptying the bench.
Is it for the amount of goals she scored this season? She scored 2 goals. Does that mean what happens if they get more than 5? 10? He looks a very pleased man. And Jagaranek. Impressive season last year. First season in charge at Canberra. Making it through to the finals, a 5th place finish. Certainly got the side at his disposal to go back to the knockout stages of this competition once again. But it's a long journey to that point. But it starts here with the first win of the season. They're just under 9 minutes of regulation time plus stoppages from that. Johnston just grabbed the armband off Batawea. McKenzie. Olasino. Anthony Gordon diving in. Was there some danger around that challenge on Tova? And this has been a frustration from the Perth Glory coaching staff today. We know how robust Canberra can be, and there's been a few challenges that have flown in that I reckon the Perth defence are frustrated, the Perth coaching staff are frustrated about.
And you can see why on that occasion, late to the contact and just the sweeping leg of Gordon catching the bottom of the ankle of Tova. He's a little slow to return to her feet.
We know across A-League men's and A-League women's over the last couple of seasons, the edict has been let play go on in most cases, but there is a fine line there. Yes, you don't want to be blowing the whistle every 30 seconds, but if there's a dangerous challenge, you've got to blow it up or it becomes anarchy.
Or just the management of keeping those sort of challenges out of the game.
Hawkins beats Chinema, but then McKenna came across. And you've got to really be impressed by that from Tian McKenna, who wants to get herself back on the international stage. We saw she was picked up by Croatia, went on a training camp there. Those kind of moments there where you're down 3-0, still putting that defensive pressure on.
Well, really important game management now for Canberra into the final 10 minutes of play, well under, depending on what stoppage time looks like. Nursing a healthy 3-goal lead, a clean sheet. Heyman, a leader now off the field in terms of who steps up, controls the game, slows things down.
you. Just halfway, thanks, halfway. Thank you. Halfway.
Halfway. You heard that clearly. Look at Alex McKenzie. Hang on. Well, she's still going to take a step forward. She's eaten up almost 10 metres there. And yes, I know Perth Glory fans probably aren't laughing like I am, but referees have to be stamping down on that. Players are going to take every advantage you can in that situation. Brooking. McKenna. And now Wood. Pushed off by Wardlow. If the referee told you to take a throw on halfway, Grace, you wouldn't be one of those players that'd pinch an extra 5-10 metres, would you?
Not me, Ben. Testing boundaries, players taking a few moments when they can, taking a couple more metres when they can.
Well, and that's the thing, isn't it? It's just like in a schoolyard, right? Kids are going to push and push as much as they can until they get disciplined. And, well, Alex McKenzie was just going with exactly what the referee was allowing there. Stanich Floody. And Malone. Crowd rises. Nice touch to Olasino. McKenzie is in acres of space. There was no one there at the back post. Stanich Floody's delivery. Off the head of Johnston. Dallas Day did just enough. Now Grove arriving late. And Perth, can they break quickly? Can they take something into next week's match? Clipped up the line. And Canberra able to mop up. They are hell-bent on this first clean sheet of the season. And you just wonder whether this could be the combination defensively moving forward. Once Wardlow gets that fitness up, Wardlow, Anton, Rovers, it looks an imposing combination back there.
We mentioned it earlier, Ben, but it's a tough trip for Perth next week against Melbourne Victory. And for Canberra, back at McKellar Park here against Sydney FC, but without Liz Anton and Michelle Heyman. Those Matildas games next Friday, New Zealand visiting the Matildas, first one at Gosford, and those two players involved in that, and that's a huge out for Canberra United.
Massive, massive, isn't it? And that's always the risk, isn't it, when you sign international players? Of course, you can cry foul during the international windows, but by having those players in your side, there's big moments across the season where they really can win you matches. And we've seen Michelle Heyman already today score the opening goal. Liz Anton has been a huge part of them keeping Perth to naught thus far. The only thing Liz Anton needs is a goal, because she scored 3 goals in her Ninja A-League career, and all have come in this fixture. There is some debate online about potentially 4, so we could give her 4, but still they've all come in this fixture. So there's something about Liz Anton and Perth versus Canberra. So maybe there's one final storyline to be written today in the Ninja A-League. It's been a special day for storylines. Lauren Allen scoring the match winner for Newcastle against Western Sydney in her 100th Ninja A-League match. From Hawkins. Stanich Floody, she can hit them from here, decides instead to use Grove. Stanich Floody still in space though. Looks to make the run in behind. Wardlow. Hawkins. Grove.
That's patient play from Canberra. Just ticking away at the seconds. Those moments, opportunities to cross or find a forward pass, but composure on the ball.
Heading towards a 17th win in 33 matches against Perth Glory. Mackenzie. Gordon. Stanich, Floody, Olasino. Mackenzie punches it over the top for Gordon. What about Josie Olasino, Grace? Where do you rate her on the recruits in the Ninja A-League this season?
Oh, I think she looks a really good pickup in the A-League in Canberra. We're starting to see a lovely partnership develop between her and Michelle Heyman. She's got good speed, good industry. I think that's one that Canberra United faithfuls will be really happy with.
The fourth official has indicated there will be 4 minutes.
4 minutes of additional time. And it can be somewhat of a lucky dip when you are signing international players. What you do get is, as a lot of coaches say, everyone looks good on their highlights reel. You've just got to hope that you get the player that you're after, and it looks as though Ant Jagaranek has certainly got that with Josie Olasino.
Well, she's a proven prospect in her time at Box Hill. So there's plenty of opportunity for Australian coaches to look at players in the domestic league. Had a season at Box Hill, proved herself really, really well. So a bit of a known entity coming into the A-League, but she stepped up. She's up to the challenge.
On Cam, deep in the vicinity of Chinnamar. And again, set pieces not quite convincing in this second half for Stephen Peters' side.
That said, if you're Sally James coming this far off your line, you've got to connect with a punch, with a claim. Otherwise, you stay on your line and you wait for your defenders to do their job.
They just haven't put Sally James under enough pressure today, have they, Perth? We know Dalton usually takes a lot of their set pieces, so big loss for them in midfield. And this is the challenge as well of playing these away matches at the start of the season, because if you've got a player with a slight injury, this will be comfortable for Dallas Day. Probably not going to risk them at this point of the season because of the travel. It's a big, big travel across to the eastern seaboard. Good chase being given here by Lala, but look at Liz Anton. Has absolutely crunched into Lala. Winning the ball. Was it dangerous, Grace?
Well, she's cleanly gotten the ball. I think she's done herself a disservice in the movement. The right-hand side, Tanika Lala just clutching. Got heavy contact from Liz Anton.
What about the follow-through? You're all right with that? Oh, maybe you can debate that. Here it is.
All ball there. I think Tanika Lala
just got to be stronger.
Was none the wiser that Anton was that close. I think the question is more, is it necessary as...
Yeah, in this moment,
Lala.
for Anton as well, to put herself at risk of an injury in the 93rd minute when you're up 3-0. But you know what it's like when the juices are flowing.
Otherwise, to me, the challenge, yes, robust, but really well timed for Liz Anton, and good to see that Lala's back to her feet as well, although I'm sure she'll be feeling a little sore through that right-hand side tomorrow.
Yeah, and speaking of the flight back, don't want bruises on a long-haul flight. Johnson straight into a brick wall in the form of Mackenzie. Just seconds remaining in this one in Canberra. They can almost reach out and touch it here. The first win of the new season for Canberra United. Maybe with one final chance from the long throw here, Canberra. Do they think about it? Going after a fourth. Turning a strong win into a comprehensive one. And that will do it. It's taken till round 4, but Canberra lap off the mark in season 18 of the Ninja A-League. Their first win of the season. And wasn't it comprehensive right from the outset? Michelle Heyman opening the scoring after 3 minutes. Emma Rovers after 8, it was 2-0. And then Bethany Gordon sealing the deal in the second half for a 3-0 win. Too much speed, too much tenacity for the visitors today. Josie Olasino, a standout for Canberra United. And Perth Glory now, after winning on the opening day of the season, have now lost 3 straight matches. And they are in a world of hurt right now, because this is probably the most disappointing of their performances so far. Full time at McKellar Park. Canberra United 3, Perth Glory 0. So, Grace, the highlights started so well today for Canberra United, and they just exploited Perth's weakness, their pace or lack of it at the back.
Well, it was direct, it was clinical, the ball over the top from Bertolicio, really good censoring pass from Josie Olasino, and the finish from Heyman really set the tone for Canberra United, particularly in that first 25-30 minutes. This, the second, and it's Rovers who managed to grapple her way and win the first contact with the header. A little